Selling home during divorce can be very challenging, but in this video, we're going to share you 3 things you must know during divorce real estate. One, refinance and take another name out. 2, retitle and buy out a spouse. And the last one is selling the home.
So we are designated through Divorce This House. We've got that designation. We're also certified in collaborative divorce. So the items that Gift are talking about, 1, which is the refinance, 2, the buyout, and 3 is the splitting up the proceeds, are 3 common solutions of dealing with the home property that the husband and wife have, and when you're dissolving that and moving on with your life. It's one financial string around your neck that you can kind of get away from and then move on with your life. So Gift, what do you want to talk about?
So first, we want to give you an idea of this topic is very, very sensitive. Not everybody gonna bring in, or not until it's come into their life and then they have to do. We want to be your resourceful and helping you because we are certified divorce real estate. Let's start with number 1. Refinance and take a name out, right, Glenn?
Yeah, refinance is just like buying or selling a house.
But refinance also have to make sure that the spouse that hold the property have to qualify for the loan and have enough income credit to carry the mortgage by themselves.
Yeah, the spouse has to have good income, either through W-2 or small business. They also have to have very good credit. And sometimes during divorce, these things don't coincide. So you'd have to look at number 2 or number 3. But hypothetically, for this particular scenario, let's say that one of the spouses wants to keep the house because maybe kids are involved, and the other spouse wants to move away from the house. In that case, in the collaborative divorce framework, the spouse that wants to keep the house would refinance the house and then have the deed of trust put under their name. And then the other spouse would go away from the house and not have anything to do with it anymore. So you'd have to have strong income, a good credit score, and then work through your financial institution in order to be able to afford that monthly mortgage payment, and then without having a secondary spouse on there.
Right.
What else do you want to cover?
So we also know a lot of lenders in our team that we can connect with you to talk to the lender specific about refinancing. And also we have appraisal, which they go to do the appraisal on your home, right? So that is the option for you to choose. And the second option is to buy out another spouse and retitle the deed in the person that holds the property.
So this is slightly different. Each one of these has small little nuances between them, however, significant enough for them to be categorized in their own number. So number 2 is the buyout. This is unique in and of itself because generally the marital assets are put in one bucket, and then the husband and wife, along with the collaborative divorce attorney, or if it's a kind of a nasty divorce where you have to go to court, that is split up 50-50 as best that they could do it. However, in a collaborative divorce or amicable type of divorce, one of the spouses may have a savings stipend, or they may have a source of income like a military retirement, or they may even have a trust. That's separate from the other spouse. So in that case, it doesn't really matter. The person who has the money has a little bit more control. So they can either keep the house and buy out their spouse, and that spouse who doesn't have the same type of cash flow or access to a large stipend of money, they would disappear. Or alternatively, the one spouse, if there's a lot of equity in the house and they have a decent job or an income through a business, they want to stay in the house for whatever reason, maybe the schooling for the kids. And the person who has the large trust or the stipend of money, they actually would buy out the person who's going to live in the house. So for example, if there's equity in that house, they would give them a certain stipend of money so they can maintain living in the house, and then they would go away and start their life over. So the buyout is
it's very unique.
Unique,
because
yeah,
you
correct.
have
That was the word I was going to
enough
use. Yeah.
money and enough cash to buy another person out. So the good thing is the other spouse can stay in the house, right? Because of the kid, especially with the kid involved and stuff. So they're all different. Now lead to number 3. If the refinance doesn't work, buyout doesn't have an option because there are no money. What do we do, Glenn? Sell.
So yeah, the E is selling is correct. So the easiest, lowest common denominator and the most common, I'm going to say probably between 60 and 70% of the time, the spouses get together and they say, you know what, we both want to start our lives off. I don't want to be with you. You don't want to be with me. And the house is actually kind of a emotional.
It can be emotional attached because you can see another family, spouse or thing stay in the house.
Say all the trash around your neck.
Yeah, because
so you want to get away from the house.
It might not be the best option. It might be the best option for all, just because we don't want to see other, memory and things like that. So
you put the house up for sale, and then there's generally a property settlement agreement that's already in place prior to actually filing that with the court and moving forward with your divorce. And the property settlement agreement is kind of your set of rules that you're going to use when it comes to disposal of personal property, whether it's rings, cars, 401ks, savings accounts, things along those lines. So the house is part of that rule set within that property settlement agreement. So what happens is the house gets sold, it gets under contract, and then you go to the title agency. The property settlement agreement is then provided to the titlement agency. Now, it varies from state to state. In the state of Maryland, they have certain rules that are slightly unique than the state of Virginia, but generally these rule sets do apply. The property settlement is provided to the settlement agency, or the rule set is provided to the settlement agency. You go to closing. Each spouse who has their name on the deed of trust signs the sale of the house, and then there's disbursement of funds. That's the money that's left over. And the title agency is, they're basically calling balls and strike. So they're going to split up the proceeds from the sale of the house, and they'll either send a check to each spouse or send a check and then do ACH, which is just automatic transfer into your checking account. However it is that you want to have the proceeds handled.
Right. So it's all of this happening is so many people get involved, right? Like Glenn said, the settlement agreement is another lawyer that is helping out. Or if it's a nasty divorce, they have to have 2 separate attorneys representing each other, and then they can come up with agreement, which is the agreement that the title company is signed off to make sure that the money dispersed to the right amount and the right person. We have a case that we are selling few clients, all different, right? Because that's why we experience agent coming along to do this. So some client, they hold the money for a year until they finish up the settlement agreement in the court. So it means the title company holding the money, right? It's happened.
Yeah, in escrow. Yeah,
in escrow, so nobody touch it. So that's what happened. Or sometimes when they agree that, okay, then this is what I want, this is what I want, they agree. It may not have to be 50-50. Whatever it is that they agree, that's how it's closing. Settlement agent will sign it off. So here's the whole thing about being divorce agent. We see from the ugly and to everything that we have been seeing. But we not even take side, right? Because our job is to focus on selling home. That's what we do best. So we are expert in selling home. We don't want you to feel like, because Gift know that wife or the husband or Glenn know. It's not about that, because we have to be fair for the party, right, Glenn?
Yeah, there's not when it comes to a divorce situation, sometimes the husband and wife are closer to us and they feel like there's going to be some type of unfair advantage taking place. It's not the case at all.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with an agent like Gift and myself, who are both have the sell this home designation, which is which is a designation that is 4 days worth of training, and collaborative divorce, which is, my God, a couple weeks of training for collaborative divorce certification. There's really no emotion that comes in it from our side. When I say calling balls and strikes, everything's pretty much in the property settlement agreement. The bottom line, what you're looking for, is an agent who is not going to get emotionally involved, but get you the absolute most amount of money.
Yes.
So you can start your life over and then move on with your life. Just put everything in the rear view mirror. And here's the reason why. Part of the emotions that people go through when they go through a divorce is a high sense of isolation, which, we have a lot of clients who enjoy speaking with us during these difficult times because we're an unbiased ear just to talk to. They go through maybe a personal feeling of failure, which is a common feeling. There's a lot of roller coaster emotions that go up and down. And then there's a certain amount of embarrassment that goes along with divorce as well too. So all these emotions, when it comes to dealing with someone who is certified in divorce real estate, is important because we're more like a counselor. We don't take sides, but at the same time, we can help you through the emotional roller coaster that you're going through. We've had many clients that we've worked with throughout the past that have gone through this. And we've got some crazy stories that we could disclose, but at the same time, we don't want to cause any embarrassment to anybody.
Yeah, so each situation is very unique, and we understand selling home is very sensitive too, especially when it comes to divorce. So sometimes the client will tell us, okay, our goal is to sell as fast as quick as possible, get the most money, so we can tell them what needs to be done from start to finish. And again, we have the resourceful of attorney or anyone that you need, psychology or the organizer, right? Or anything that you can name for. That's why we are certified divorce real estate. And
so let's go through the collaborative divorce process. It's a new term that might be new to you, but within collaborative divorce, the cost is a fraction of the cost of going through a standard family court law court, which is separate for each county. Some small counties don't have a divorce, and you have to, go to a district court for the divorce. But the cost is a fraction of the cost when you do collaborative divorce. The second thing is the timing. The time is a fraction of the cost when you're dealing in collaborative divorce. The big thing, though, with collaborative divorce is it puts you in control. If there's some hostility between the parties and you have to go to a regular court to see a judge, you are no longer making decisions for yourself. The judge is now making a decision for yourself. So collaborative divorce lowers the tensions and the hostilities because they know that the consequence of being hostile in collaborative divorce is going to a judge and losing complete control over your decisioning. And the last thing is they've been doing this for years now. In fact, there are certain judges throughout the country that actually push certain divorce parties into collaborative divorce so they can have more control and save money, because it just makes a lot more sense than going through a court and fighting it out and having a judge making decisions for you. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Gift?
So no, I think it's very good because people don't understand a lot of time. They just think when divorce is like fighting. It's not always about fighting. It's what is the best for your situation. Let's say you have kid, the kid also get impact on situation, right? We don't want that to happen, right? The most impact that can get is we want you to focus on what you need to do in your life and the most important for you, and then let us helping you navigate with the selling side. And again, no one takes side. This is how we process the sale. We're gonna go step by step with you and your spouse. Sometimes depend on how we can communicate. A lot of time, husband and wife, if they go to litigate, they don't even talk to each other. Sometimes they have an attorney talking to them, and attorney will contact us. So we provide what attorney asking, like a appraisal, what is the sale price or what is a listing agreement,
inspection,
and all of the things that we need to do to in order for assess the value, what is the projection of the sale and net proceed, and then they can come to the settlement agreement, right? So there are a lot of things involved and so many people involved, especially I'm talking about in Virginia, right, Glenn, versus what we are in Virginia. So when you have kids, you need to have separation up to 12 months. Separation doesn't mean you have to move out from the house. Separation is you can sleep in different rooms. One person sleep in the basement or something like that can be considered separation. And then without kid, it's about 6 months, right? So
without 6 months, yeah.
So again, we have all resourceful of the connection, and anyone you can name it, we can help you. That's why we want you to focus on your life, and we can help you with the sale of the home. We also have a seller guide. If you need help with anything, please sign up on the link in our website or comment video below if you think this video is valuable to anyone that you know or coming up, because I know people don't talk about divorce until it's happened, but when it's come, you need the resourceful. We are here to support you. Contact us by phone or link to the website, or even share this video. We hope this video will help you out. Is there anything else?
Yeah, this is just one video. The next video we're going to talk about the 5 parties that are in a collaborative divorce situation. There's way too much information for us to cover everything on such a short video.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We get more education about real estate video for you. See you again next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.